sorting out such matters when the same is not on our side?
But you have
actually, that's a paradox, you know.
But haven't you said that you have brought KDF there? You have KDF, and you have said still there's stealing. Why is that so? Are you saying the KDF is not enough? Anyway, I saw the deputy president promise bring more vehicles and more people.
Yeah.
That what is done is not enough.
What there is, actually, I said, you know, I really commend the president with the deployment of KDF in Moyale. There's some calmness in Moyale now. People are slowly getting back to their homes, and schools are now in the process of opening. You know, some level of hope is there, and because people are coming back. But you know, you'll be surprised. Moyale now, and where the current conflict is taking place, is almost 600-700 kilometers away. Forole, where we had a problem, is about 300 kilometers from, maybe 250 kilometers from Moyale. Dukana is about 500 kilometers from Moyale. So what's happening is that, you know, these are totally different zones, totally far away from each other. And we have the KDF in Moyale, and I don't think, you know, they have, it's quite difficult for the same people, unless you deploy another unit. It's going to be difficult for them to man the border from wherever they are. So the challenge of distance and, you know, the terrain make it very difficult for even our security personnel to be effective.
Perhaps just generally, because we're talking about ways of dealing with the insecurity, from your perspective as a governor, what is that ultimate thing that needs to be done to sort out this matter of insecurity?
Yeah. One, for us to have stability in Marsabit County, we must address issue of the border seriously. We must engage the Ethiopian authorities. In my view, that is number one. We must look for ways of ensuring that we have a joint, you know, agreement of how to deal with, you know, cross-border problems. Number two, our border is such a vast, you know, so long, over 500-kilometer stretch with Ethiopia, which is not manned at all. So we need to open up units of KDF along the border, because the government has a primary duty of ensuring people's lives and property are protected, and even to protect people against an external incursion, external aggression like what we're experiencing now. So my recommendation is that, you know, we need to open up at least 2 border posts, 2 border KDF posts, particularly in a place called Forole and Dukana. Number 2, we also need to beef up, you know, paramilitary units like GSU. We had them some years ago, but unfortunately they were withdrawn. So if you had posted, you know, some 2-3 security posts along the border, that will go a long way in helping the situation. Number 3, you know, the county is a scarce resource county. We've had challenges in terms of water, challenges in terms of, you know, at the moment we have challenges because sometimes we don't even get, you know, the climate change. The pastoralists are finding it very difficult to cope. And also a lot of things are coming up, which is making life more difficult than it used to be. So we need to address also, of course the county government is doing. Now we are developing water structures in the county in various points. We intend to do about 30 boreholes this financial year. And quite unfortunately, we've not been able to do even the survey in Moyale because of the instability. But we've done some in Northor, and we are doing others in Lysamis. But we're also waiting for situation to go to calm in Moyale so that we go and do it. Maybe by addressing the water needs, we'll also be in a position to reduce the intensity and of the conflict. So these are things. Number one, you know, the government is important. The government to engage Ethiopia, have, you know, a lasting kind of agreement so that you have a proper roadmap on how to deal with, you know, issues as they come up. And then the government needs to deploy to open up more security posts along those lines. In my view, I think those are my recommendations.
What about internal, that from outside? What about the fight between the Barana, Gabra and all those other tribes? How do you see yourself sorting out that? Because it's been traditional, as you say, those fights between the various clans and tribes. How do you see them being resolved?
Well, I think, as I said earlier, a lot of it is no competition for resources, including water, pasture, and also now modern conflict where we compete for jobs, we compete for distribution of resources, I think these are matters that the county government is taking very seriously. And I have you know, established a unit in my office that deals with the issues of cohesion and integration among communities. We just constituted a few weeks ago. And we want to use this mechanism to bring elders on board from all communities so that our standing elders, so that in case of their issues, there can be a first point of response, trying to engage, not even wait for conflict, but when there are any indications, when there are issues, which are coming up, then we can use these elders, the instrument of elders, to try to discuss, negotiate, and look for an amicable solution. I think these are what we want to do. We're also working closely with the non-governmental organization, some in the areas of conflict. These are things that we want to strengthen. And security is not a preserve of one authority. It's our collective duty. And we want to harness, the potential of every actor within the county and also outside, so that we work together for the common good of our people.
Just focusing on the things that you're doing currently to handle the insecurity in the area. Stephen Sorobit just wants assurance, and he's basically saying, take up your duty boldly as a leader and address insecurity within your limits, kwani serikali itawachunga mpaka kwa mlango.
Well, of course, that's true. But, nobody prays for conflict.